guys, it's Vicky, and today I'm here to talk about the books that got away. This is a video that I do every January where I kind of look back at books that I had put on my TBRs throughout the year, so in this case throughout 2020, and for one reason or another did not read. And what often happens is there are a few that I'm really bummed that I didn't read. And so in 2020, I went through my TBRs and looked back, and I had 15 books total that I put on TBRs that I did not read. But there are 5 from this pile that I'm really just like, man, why didn't I read that? So I'm gonna talk about them today. So the first book that got away in 2020 was The House at Riverton by Kate Morton. I put this on my, I believe, February TBR. So it was on a monthly TBR, and I just didn't read it. I am really starting to enjoy Kate Morton's books. I have read 3 of them now, and I just really like her format. She basically, it's always like a historical fiction with some sort of mystery. So there's always a dual timeline, a present day timeline, and then a timeline in the past. This one is, the timeline in the past is 1920s England, and it centers around a girl who worked as a servant in a big house, Riverton. And one summer there was a party going on, and a poet that was there shot himself. She witnessed something, or, you know, kind of knew what happened. And then the present day story is years later, she's an old lady, and she gets contacted by a filmmaker, I think, who is making a film about the events that happened where this poet was shot, and wants her, you know, to give him some like historical details or whatever to like fact check or whatever. So they go back to Riverton, and it kind of dredges up memories. So I already know, like, I'm gonna love this. This one in particular is often compared to Downton Abbey because it deals with servants in a big house, and so that is also very appealing to me. So this one actually I am planning to read this year because it is going to fulfill one of the challenges for the Buzzword Reading Challenge, because one of the challenges is house or home. So I'm going to, spoiler, I'm going to be using this one for that when it comes up. So yeah, I'm bummed I didn't read this, but I know I'm going to get to it this year. So then the next book that I did not read in 2020 that now I kind of really wish I had, not because like I think I'm really going to enjoy it, because it turns out that it's not getting very good reviews. And so now I'm like, I wish I had read it when it first came out, because now I feel like my opinion of it is going to be slightly influenced by a lot of the like mad reviews that it's had. And it's unfortunate because this was a like anticipated release for me. Yeah, and that book is Survivor Song by Paul Tremblay. So this one really appealed to me because it is about a pandemic. But from what I'm understanding now, like from people reviewing it, it's basically like a zombie story. And it deals with a pregnant woman who contracts. Is that the right word? I don't know. She gets the virus. So I don't know if she's like slowly becoming a zombie or whatever, but she's pregnant, and so she wants to get to safety and deliver her baby before she becomes a zombie, I guess. I don't know. And she teams up with this other woman who I think is a nurse or doctor or something, and they're trying to get to safety. So it's like a road story, pandemic story, zombie story. So it sounds good. But like everybody that I have seen reviews of, like nobody has like loved it. It's been like lukewarm. And so now I'm like, man, I kind of wish I'd read it before I heard all that, because now I don't even know if I want to read it anymore, which is so bad. I know I should not like let reviews really influence me that much. So I think what I'm going to do is like, I'm definitely not going to purchase this book. If I do read it, I will get it from the library or see if I can find the audiobook on Scribd. I know for a while it was on there, and hopefully if it's still on there, I'll give it a try. But yeah, now I'm kind of just like, man, I don't even know if I'm gonna like this book. All right, the next book that I wish I had read in 2020 but did not is The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. And this one really appeals to me, because Bobby, when she read it, she was like, hands down loved it. It was a 5-star, like glowing 5-star read. And whenever Bobby gets excited about a book, I tend to get excited about a book because we have very similar reading tastes. And so I feel like if Bobby loves it, then I'm probably gonna love it. And this one also just sounds very kind of like refreshing to me because it's been a really long time since I've read a witch story where like you're dealing with like puritanical times, and yeah, it deals with witches. There's a girl, our main character, I'm trying to remember, she has, her parents were different races. So in that time period, it was like totally scandalous. They were, you know, disgraced or whatever. And so she's kind of also disgraced because she is biracial. And somehow she finds out, because her mother has passed away, and she finds a journal or something that her mother had where she was like in league with these witches that are kind of, their spirits are kind of haunting the nearby woods where she lives. And so it kind of like takes her into like this whole thing with witches. It just sounds really cool to me because, like I said, I haven't read a good like witch story in a while, in that time period too. Just seems cool. And like I said, Bobby loved it. So that's one that I definitely want to get my hands on in 2021 because I definitely still want to read that one. Okay, the next one that I didn't read, and this one I think I put it on my TBR for, was it Fortnite Frights? It might have been Fortnite Frights. Anyway, it's Penance by Minato. Those of you guys that have been following my channel for the past year or two know that Minato's book Confessions was one of my favorite reads of 2019, I believe. I loved that book. It was a 5-star book. So this one I'm like super amped for because it also, like Confessions, deals with a revenge plot, a revenge story, which is always fun to me because they're always dark, they're always twisted. So this one deals with a group of friends, 4 girls, who when they're younger, they're hanging out or whatever, and this stranger approaches them, and one of the girls goes off with this stranger and then is found murdered hours later. And so the other 3 girls are not really able to give a whole lot of descriptions of this person or like information to the police, and the mother of the deceased girl curses them basically and is like, you're gonna pay for what happened to my daughter. And then it's like fast forward to their adulthood and the revenge ensues, and it just sounds dark and twisted and awesome. So like I said, I loved Confessions. I loved the format of her, the way that she narrated that story, like kind of using different perspectives. So I have a feeling that this one's gonna do the same thing, and I'm really excited. And that one I should be able to read this year. I actually got it on my Kindle recently because it was a Kindle daily deal, so I think I got it for like $3 or something, so I have it. So yeah, I need to read it. And then the last book that I'm going to talk about of 2020 reads that got away from me is When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole. Before I get into what it is about, I do want to say that I would have totally read this in October, but Scribd did me wrong. The audiobook was on Scribd. I was all set. I'm like, yes, I'm going to be listening to this during Fortnite Frights because it was going to fill a slot in my bingo board. I was really excited for it. And then Scribd did the thing where all of a sudden it wasn't available to me anymore. I had to like wait until the next month or something for it to be available to me again. I don't know if that's ever happened to any of you guys out there that have Scribd, but that's happened to me a couple times and it's so annoying. And so it like screwed up my timeline of when I was going to read this book. But I think it's still on Scribd, so yeah, I plan to listen to the audiobook. But this one is, like I said, it's a thriller that takes place in Brooklyn, where our main character is living in a neighborhood that is going through gentrification, and her and this other person in the neighborhood start to kind of dive into the history because they want to start doing walking tours, I believe, of their neighborhood. And so they're looking into the history of the neighborhood, and they realize that their neighbors aren't actually leaving the neighborhood. Like, they're leaving the neighborhood, but it's because they like straight up disappeared. And so it kind of becomes like a mystery, and like, where did they go? What happened to them? Is there some sinister stuff going on? I'm still really excited to read it. And like I said, Scribd better not screw me over again. and hopefully I will be able to listen to it very soon on audio. Alright guys, so those are 5 books that I had wanted to read in 2020 but did not, that I hopefully will be reading in 2021, with the exception of Survivor Song. I'm still not sure I even want to give that one a go, but let me know. Should I? Have any of you guys read Survivor Song? Should I give it a try? I don't know. I feel conflicted. The other ones though, I'm still super stoked for and definitely want to read. So let me know down below if there were any books in 2020 that you had wanted to read, new releases or whatever, that you put on TBRs or planned to read and didn't. I would love to know what everybody is kind of like missing out on, I guess. Let me know down below, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful week, and I will talk with you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.